Hey everybody, my name's Democracy, and today we're back with more of the best and worst bosses in Darkborn. No fancy smancy long intro this time, let's get right into it with number 114. I've said before that I don't have much to say about the Colorless Demon, and yet here we are again. While it's definitely not a horrible fight, it's nothing particularly memorable either. To give what credit I can, he does look pretty cool and enters the arena like a badass, but he feels so similar to a watered down asylum demon. It takes almost no effort to kill him, you just keep running into his stomach and stab, stab, he's dead. But the spectacle of the whole thing at least gives you a little bit of entertainment for your trouble. When I walked into this arena for the first time, I thought I was fighting Leechmonger again. Yeah, he's basically the same thing except he's covered in dirt. Dirt that he disgustingly throws and covers you in. That's the lore too. He's a collection of all the filth in the Valley of Defilement, an area that is a collection of all the filthy people of Boletaria. So he's filth collected from filth. Yuck. But the one thing that redeems the design is that dirt mechanic. If you get covered in dirt, you can use the torches around the arena to rid yourself of it. Of course, I had no idea about this until after the fact, so let's just pretend I walked into the flames. That's a cool mechanic, but similar to Leechmonger, this boss suffers from being mind-numbingly easy. In the same vein, I'm grateful, because if you thought 5-1 was bad, don't even make me talk about 5-2. The Skeleton Lords are a boss that could have been great, but failed to deliver. On one hand, the arena is designed perfectly for effective crowd control, and the concept of the Lord spawning skeleton minions upon death is pretty cool. The main issue with the design is that the fight is too damn easy. Each Lord dies in 3 to 5 hits, and then the skeleton minions are slow, stupid, and weak. In other words, this is one of those fights I think you'd probably have to actively try if you wanted to die. The lore involving the Lords becoming the leader of the Old Iron King's Hollow Hunt, so to speak, is very intriguing though. You're fighting the remnants of the Hollows during the Old Iron King's reign. Like many rulers, the king didn't know how to handle the Hollowing, so he settled on hunting them down. The Lords led these hunts and eventually became that which they hunted. That's all fine and dandy, but you would think the Hunters of Hollows would put a better resistance up than, well, this! I'm not ready for this, guys. If there's one joke I've enjoyed throughout the Darkborn videos, it's one at this idiot's expense. This is the last time though. The last time I get to see this buffoon hurl himself to his doom. And that's it, that's all he gets. The entertainment and satisfaction of watching this so-called trusted warrior of Vendrick miserably commit suicide is one of my favorite moments in the early game. So DRAGONRIDER, thanks for the memories. Okay, take a deep breath. Step away from the comment section, don't crucify me just yet. If we're talking about mechanics and difficulty, this is the only boss in the series that can rival or even surpass the Bed of Chaos in being total asinine garbage. But when it comes to lore, the True King is actually a near perfect representation of it. To give an example, in the way that the fight with Yorm is more about spectacle and lore than the challenge, this fight is about reflecting on the pathetic shell of a man who paid the price for his insatiable lust for power. So if we're talking about a fight, sure, I'll give it to you. This is the worst in the series, even more so than the Bed of Chaos. But this blob is a near perfect showing of his lore and an important plot device in Demon Souls. I love this Celestial Blue Man group. Every time I watch them waddle around, I get a really good laugh. But of course, it's just another one of those many enemies, no difficulty type of fights. At least there is a power-up halfway through, but that's only worth minor credit in my eyes since the big version does little to stand out other than his size. What really elevated this fight for me was a cool lore theory I read from the Reddit user Pacific Brim. His theory is that these were members of the choir that experimented on themselves. Joel Zivvy takes it even further by suggesting they were trying to ascend a kin to become closer to Ebritas. This all makes a ton of thematic sense and makes the fight at least a little bit more interesting. Still, that's not enough to excuse this overly easy alien massacre. This is another boss I'm quite certain some of you expected a lot lower. People really seem to hate on Jabba, but I'll give the guy a little credit. Sure, he's terrible at doing the one thing a boss should be good at, you know, killing you, But damn if it isn't hilarious watching this blubbery monster flop around attempting it. Where he really gets props from me is the lore. A member of Mythos Court was obsessed with her beauty, and in an attempt to win her favor, he started gorging himself. That's even more hilarious. Guys, listen up. Let me tell you about the Covetous Demon's Guide to Seduction. Step 1, eat a shitload of food. Step 2, are you getting fat? Is she in love with you yet? If not, eat more food. Step 3, rinse and repeat until you've succumbed so hard to your gluttony you turn into a fat demon that can barely put up a fight, let alone win over the fairest lady in the land. I mean, what the hell was this guy thinking? Maybe this was the historical age when being fat was a sign of wealth and authority, but damn man, there is such a thing as a line, and boy did he ever devour it. This guy, Leechmonger, and the Dirty Colossus make up what I'm gonna call the poop trio. If you find that disgusting, I regret to inform you this boss will not quench your nausea. He reminds me a lot of Agitator. He's got a big cleaver weapon that he telegraphs pretty damn well. So to make it harder, there's a bunch of fire on the ground forcing you to be aware of your surroundings. I can't really decide if that's good design or artificial difficulty, so I kinda just tossed him a few points there. Either way, I don't think this fight does much to stand out from the pack. It's very simple, and that's a disappointment for one of the lords. Ah well, at least he's the best of his shitty brethren. I could probably sum this up in one sentence. At least it's better than the Chalice version. That said, most of the problems with the Laron camera beast still exist here. The camera is still the real boss, this guy is stupid fast, and it'll be incredibly punishing for any player that can't knock him down. But in all likelihood, many players won't find the beast until they reach the Unseen Village. In that case, you'll probably be overleveled for this fight and will wreck this beast in about 15 seconds. So pick your poison. Either it's gonna be a pain in the ass in the Hypergean jail, or you can swat it away like a fly in the Unseen Village. One way or the other, I doubt you'll be enjoying yourself too much. Yay! More bosses from the depths of development hell. My main issue with the design in this fight is the arena. You're limited to a tiny area and are at the centipede's mercy until it decides to come in close. And it should definitely be mentioned that without the use of a texture mod, this lava would be a headache-inducing nightmare. After it comes in close, it kinda just stomps a bunch until it's dead. Nothing overly horrible, but definitely nothing special. It does have a neat piece of lore about the ceaseless discharge dropping the orange shard ring to create it, but that doesn't mean a whole lot in the fight's context other than, welp, I'm gonna have to kill it to get the ring, aren't I? All of you who complain about R1 spammers in PvP, I've got some great news for you. FromSoft has heard your pleas and decided, why don't we join in on the fun? Yeah, that's exactly what the Descendent is, a freaking spammer. He moves lightning fast with almost no readable tell and then just beats you down. That said, he can be parried and that can make this fight somewhat easier. I wish you all the best of luck because I never want to face the Spam King ever again. It's been a while since we've seen a Dark Souls 3 boss, but I'd be remiss if I didn't include the old Demon King outside the top 100. Truly my biggest gripe is that he's so similar to the other two demon monsters you face in the game. That and it's just another damn monster boss with a big axe weapon. Haven't there been enough of those already? Then those damn AoEs, ugh. It follows the trend of Dark Souls 3 bosses having attacks that force you to keep off of them for a few seconds. Those are totally fair, but it stops me from being reckless and that's what I love to do. So for those punishing AoEs and the copy-paste style of other bosses, I can't see the King being much higher on this list. Before we get into it, let's at least give Unending Relief a load this. It's by my account the best of the 4 Lost Isolith bosses. That's not saying much considering the competition, but hey, at least it won something. I've already talked at length about the lame nature of this fight, but I haven't gotten a chance to talk about the lore. This monstrosity was born with flaming sores all over his body. That's the unending load. This guy is constantly oozing fire pus. Ugh. His sister made him the orange charred ring to ease the pain, but he dropped the damn thing, creating that guy. Honestly, I feel bad for him. I didn't know about this until recently, but his only solace in his awful life was protecting the corpse of his sister. Oh, you mean that corpse I just looted? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Oh shit! Well, at least I can feel good about putting this big lug out of his misery. Scorpioness Quelaag is okay. I don't know, as far as I know they actually have no relation, but based on aesthetic I can't help but think of Quelaag. And spoiler alert, you won't be seeing her on this list for a while. So what makes NAJKA so inferior? Well, she's pretty weak at the point you face her. Most of my battles with her have ended within about 30 seconds without much opposition. Her most dangerous attack are just irritating homing spells. I say irritating because I'm too lazy to dodge them because I want the fight to be over, not necessarily because they're bad, to be clear. There's also some interesting lore between her and Man Scorpion Tark that involves the Lord Soul associated with Seath, but it's not really enough to elevate this fight any higher on the list. Our first boss in the top 100 and the last boss of the day is this Infernal Spider. Seriously, I have no idea how you're supposed to fight this thing. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't at least a little entertained trying to figure it out though. I'm not sure if throwing myself relentlessly down its flaming tunnel of doom is a bad strategy or bad design on the game's end. And once you get there, I found it nearly impossible to dodge the spider's attacks. I wish I had a better way to analyze the intricacies of this boss for you guys, but I really don't even know how I made it through the fight alive. There's really no lore that supports a spider being in these caverns, so this ranking is mostly based on questionable difficulty, okay design, and slightly thrilling entertainment. But now that we're finally in the top 100, things are only gonna get better from here. Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed checking out the final stragglers outside the top 100. I'll be making 2 Darkborn videos a week for the foreseeable future, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. Oh god, it's my face! Well, I thought you and I could use a little bit of FaceTime. I just want to thank you guys sincerely for all the incredible support I've received for me, my channel, my new Dark Souls series. It's been extremely overwhelming and I haven't really known what I should say, but let's start with thank you. You guys have given me an outlet to talk about something I love in an entertaining way that you all seem to really enjoy. I'm excited to finish the boss rankings with you, and I'm really excited to explore other lists. You guys have given me great ideas like environments, NPCs, enemies, there's a whole bunch of stuff we're gonna do. Oh, and I'm always working on projects for other games as well, so expect me to go into uncharted territories in the next couple of days. So as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.